Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to Teach Better Today morning show. I am here with the one and only Jeffrey Raymond Gargas, and we are here to kick off your morning like we have the opportunity of doing every single morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. Thank you. Shout out to those of you who are making this a part of your daily routine. Check it in with the team. Remember, if you ever miss an episode, you can go over to our YouTube channel and check out every single episode. You can also head over to Teach Better Talk Podcast, where they are uploaded daily there as well for you to review. We'll be right back with some really good Would You Rathers. Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to the Teach Better Today morning show. Jeff, we had a listener question that was submitted that we are absolutely going to use for the beginning of our show rather than the team talk section, because it is a list of would you rathers, and I'm dying to know your answer.
Okay. All right.
You feel prepared? You feel like you can answer these no problem?
Well, I mean, I guess we'll see how in-depth they are or how personal they are.
They're super in-depth, really personal. We're going to learn all about like the inner workings of Jeff Gargas.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
First one, starting off easy. Would you rather prefer to have the ability to fly or be invisible?
I'd prefer to be able to fly.
Okay. Number 2, would you rather travel 100 years into the past or 100 years into the future?
Oh, that's a tough one, because like going 100 years ago would be interesting to see
1923.
that world. But I'm also really interested to see if we're all still here in 100 years. So like, I'm really interested to see what the world looks like then. I'm gonna say into the future.
Okay. Number 3, would you rather have unlimited money but no friends, or be surrounded by loved ones but have a limited wealth?
Definitely surrounded by loved ones.
Yeah, that was easy for you. You are not money driven at all. Jeff's mindset is like, give everything away for free. Who cares if we can like support our own families? So that completely makes sense. Number 4, would you rather always speak your mind or never speak again?
Always speak my mind.
Really?
I have a hard time never speaking again. Like,
it would be such a blessing for those of us that
no
work
kidding.
Okay, number 5. There are 10, by the way. Number 5, we're halfway through. Would you rather live in a world with no internet or no electricity?
No internet.
Yeah, that one. I totally agree. Would you rather have the power to heal any illness or prevent any conflict?
Heal any illness.
You're being very like serious and quiet.
I'm like, very deep, very personal. Like I'm on.
But there's no elaboration. Like you're literally just like,
oh, do you want me to elaborate?
I'm just saying you're not like on a timer.
I feel like
there's
I'm
no
waiting
right
for the
or wrong
win.
answer.
Like how am I scoring? Like I feel like I'm on a game show, and I was like,
there wasn't a right or wrong answer. I mean, in the comments, they'll may let us know if they think you're wrong, but like you can like have an opinion that you.
Nope. I'm just answering. Okay. If you have a question about any of them, we can discuss it later.
Fair. Okay. Number 7, which I think is what we're on. Would you rather be a famous celebrity with no privacy or an ordinary person with a peaceful life?
Ordinary person with a peaceful life.
Jeff does not want to be famous ever. Would you rather spend a year living on a tropical island or in a bustling city?
Tropical island.
Would you rather be a master musician or a brilliant scientist?
Musician.
For those of you who know Jeff, you know that was going to be his answer. Music is his life. Like he wants to cure all illnesses, but not if he gets to be a rock star.
Yeah, that would be the trade-off.
Okay, last one. Would you rather have the ability to time travel but not control where you ended up, or be able to teleport but only to places you've already been?
Teleport to places I've already been.
Mm.
I think that it would be exciting to just time travel, be like, well, I wonder where I'm going, but like you could end up in like some really rough spots, like like versus
Okay.
going teleport, like wanting to go back somewhere.
Was there any one of those that you thought was a more interesting question? Something that like got you thinking?
I don't remember half of them.
Oh, great. I'm so glad we did the segment. You know what, friends?
I was
This
focused on
segment
answering in the moment. Okay.
This this segment on Teach Better Today was brought to you by the Teach Better blog, where you can experience guest bloggers explaining their favorite elements of their teaching practices on a daily basis. Head over to teachbetterblog.com for more.
I think that the teleport or the time travel one was pretty interesting because it's like the surprise of like where am I gonna be versus the let me get back to something maybe is somewhere that I really loved going. I think that's an interesting take. I took the
I
safe.
think
Yeah.
fly or invisible is hard.
To me, that's really, really easy because if I'm invisible, like my loved ones can't see me ever again. Right? Or I guess it's a power
Wait,
to
but you picked
oh, you
invisible.
don't have
Hold on.
no, I picked flying.
Oh, you picked flying. Yeah, but you don't
Well,
have
I
to
guess I
be
didn't think of like
invisible.
you don't have to be invisible all the time, it's you'd have the power to be, right?
Yeah, like you don't have to be
Oh.
flying all the time. You could choose to land.
I think I'd still pick flying. I'd rather be able to fly places.
But
To be
if I'd
invisible, like,
rather
I'm like, "Alright, like, well, how are you using that that's not creepy?"
that's what I was gonna ask, is like if you chose invisible, what's the benefit? Like invisible, the only thing I can think of is to do naughty things, like to steal, to like rob
Well,
a bank or
I
like
could think of, like well, you could go
sneak
like, if you're
around
someone
for
who wants to go out to, like, restaurants, but you don't like people, you go out there and, like, well, people can't see me, so I don't have to worry about anybody seeing me. I can just go and
how do you order?
you come uninvisible for a minute. I don't know. Or you steal it. I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I feel like invisible is only good if you're stealing something. I could be
I'm
wrong.
sure there's other uses for being invisible, and you and I are just bad people, and that's why that's
I
where
think that
we're
must be it.
going.
And flying, here's my issue with flying. I don't mind flying. I think that's cool. I guess I would pick that one, but I really want teleportation. Like I want to be able to think about going somewhere and like beam myself there.
Well, listen,
Flying is
like,
a lot of time.
if I could fly and I could teleport to places I've already been, I could teleport somewhere I've already been, and then could fly around to explore other places around it.
I don't think you got both. You only get one.
No, 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 no. It was a this or that, and there was 2 different times, so I can get both.
There has to be somebody in the comments. There's got to be somebody who can tell us what the benefits of being invisible are that isn't robbing a bank or like stealing someone's password or like something that's like
Well,
not bad.
let's think about if you're riding a train or a plane or something like that, you just wanna be able to sit there and, like, have no one notice you, and it might take away some of your anxiety, like, from being around people. Like, think about if you were the only problem then is, like, someone might sit on your lap and you don't
Isn't that weird?
because they don't see you, that'd be weird. Be like,
Like,
"Whoa!" Like, "Hey."
I feel like this conversation took a turn for the worse, friends. I'm so sorry.
But see, then if you could fly, I could just fly away if I was embarrassed.
Like to stay in Walmart all day, you could, or all night, you could be invisible. They could close the store. Oh, but
And that
typically
wouldn't
Walmarts are
necessarily be
24
to do
hours.
bad things, maybe not to steal, but to just run around and play because 'cause that'd be a good time.
You know,
S
Matt is right outside this door. I really
Sneak
wish I
into
could
Chuck
like
E.
yell and
Cheese
ask him.
or Dave& and Buster's and, like, play after hours, like, that'd be fun.
Okay, so be invisible to stay somewhere after hours
I
to
feel like if I
purely
had the
have
power to
fun,
be
not
invisible, the
vandalism.
thing I'd use it most for was to throw snowballs at people so they don't know where they're coming from.
Okay, wait, this is a great idea. I thought of one. Being invisible so you could do random acts of kindness, but they don't know who
That would
did
be fun.
them.
Yes, that would be fun, right? So,
Okay,
like
that one I like.
yeah.
Okay. See, we're not terrible people. We just need some time.
Yeah, that would be fun.
We're gonna think of more reasons to be invisible. We'll be right back. back to Teach Better Today morning show, where we get to be a part of your morning, hopefully every single morning, Monday through Friday. We are in our Team Talk segment, which is where we answer your questions or discuss educational topics. We are very excited to get into a listener question, and I want to say that this listener question is brought to you by the Teach Better Academy, where you can get free and full courses to learn about topics you love. Head over to teachbetteracademy.com for more information. Yes, Jeff Gargas, any thoughts?
I don't want to carry over from the last segment, but I have to note that it literally took every fiber of my being to not be like underneath my desk as if I was invisible when we came back. I really wanted to do it, but I decided not to because we're supposed to be into a different segment. So I wanted, if everyone could please comment and let me know how proud you are of me for staying professional, I would really appreciate it a lot.
Guys, if you could head over to YouTube to make sure that you're watching the video. Obviously, we stream these videos on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. Head over to YouTube if you're listening on Teach Better Talk podcast, because you definitely need to see Jeff trying to be invisible on the show. That also is a great place, by the way, friends, to subscribe. Obviously, subscribing on YouTube is beneficial for you so that you get, obviously, the team content, but it also actually really benefits us as a team. The more subscribers we have, the more educators we can reach. And our drive is to always reach more educators to provide more free support. So we really appreciate you taking the few moments you can to go do that. So good stuff there, Jeff. Thanks for being not invisible so we could talk about subscribing to YouTube, I guess.
Okay, let's go to Team Talk.
We're in Team Talk. It's happening.
Okay, great. We're here. I'm back.
Yep.
Sorry, you were invisible for a moment. Now we're back. Okay, great.
Not invisible.
Good to be
Friends, we have a listener question. It's a really good one. So we got a listener question. I'm not going to read it word for word because it was a little lengthy explaining the circumstance, but it essentially dealt with a teacher who is loving her job teaching. It wasn't, as much as we all do. It's obviously a job that has a lot of pros and cons, but it was not a teacher that was looking to leave the classroom. But this teacher specifically liked to share a lot of information and is trying to kind of take on this hobby, this part-time endeavor of sharing and connect with other educators and being helpful to others. And so the few things that they noted doing is selling lesson plans on Teachers Pay Teachers. They started their own blog and they're blogging as often as they can. And they got on one social media platform to try and share out. And the frustration this teacher was sharing was that she feels like she can't get any traction of people to see her work. And she's really struggling with how to get that connection, right? Like, how do you get someone to follow you on social media or read your blogs or see your stuff on Teachers Pay Teachers with the intention of just helping people? Let's assume all this is free. She's not looking to make money. She just wants to help others, and it's hard to help others when your content's being seen. So, Jeff, what are your thoughts initially on that?
First off, it's okay to also make money on a side hustle. That's a side note.
Sure, but that wasn't the point of this.
Yes. Yes, my first question would be, which we won't have the answer to, so we'll just throw it out there and leave it as like, how long has it been? So whether or not are we being patient enough, I think is really important, because I think it's easy to see others on social media platforms and hear stories and watch the videos and whatever and think that's going to happen quickly. And it doesn't. It can take a long time. It's typically what I always say is it's going to take a long time, probably much longer than you think it will and want it to be. So that's, I think, important. But let's assume it's been a reasonable amount of time, they're being patient and stuff. I think if you're not picking up the traction, there's a couple things that could be wrong or not as good as they need to be. Either the place or places you're attempting to meet your potential audience at, so the platforms and or ways in which you're communicating, the message you're actually putting out there isn't resonating, or the people you're trying to reach. Either, when this kind of goes into both of those, I think they both start with like really defining who you're trying to reach and why. And because you could be, if you're not clear on who it is that's actually going to benefit from what you're doing and why and what they would get from following you, consuming your content, then that plays into, is your messaging correct? And is it in the right places at the right time, and so on and so forth. So I think it's an examination of what have you been doing? if there's been even just a little bit of traction on what and when and why, but really examining like who are you speaking to, why, what are you trying to convey, and then how and where are you doing that is where I would be looking in that particular situation.
Yeah, I think that those are good places to start. When you were talking about identifying your audience and your message, I think automatically to like, we have an academy course on this. So if you guys actually find yourself feeling the struggle, we actually have a free course on kind of marketing in terms of just connecting on social media. I love being able to see educators kind of identify strategically who they're looking to connect with and then make
Mhm.
a lot of focus on that. So that's a good step. I also think that sometimes if you're looking for people to connect with you, you have to go out of your bubble to find other networks to get exposure. So a really easy way, for example, is to blog on somebody else's website or be a guest on
Mhm.
somebody's podcast. Then if somebody enjoys your content, they're going to automatically look you up and follow you or connect with your content. You don't even have to mention it, but if I'm on a podcast and people enjoy what I've shared, they don't necessarily want that to be the only time we've connected. So giving my, contact information at the end of a podcast could be a way for you to get more of that
Mhm.
exposure. I know on Teach Better Today, we just recently started bringing on guests. We want to find some variety and not only highlighting our team, but also highlighting other educators that you can connect with. The Sunday show does that really well. The Sunday show that is exclusive to our private Facebook group over at teachbettergroup.com is a place that we constantly have new interviews going on. And sometimes they're familiar faces, sometimes they're new faces. And the goal of that is very simple with what this educator question is about, which is how do you get more access to people? And I think that is opening up your network a little bit, highlighting the work you're doing in other places so that people
Mhm.
can get more exposure to your work.
Agree.
I'm actually on a podcast later today that will air sometime in the near future. And although I really love interviewing people, it's kind of nice sometimes to flip the mic and have
Mhm.
other people that I'm engaging with in hopes that some of our free content over at teachbetter.com can benefit them and they may not have been exposed to that content without that interaction. So it's cool stuff
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I love, and I love going on. I go on quite a few podcasts, typically like more business related, marketing, entrepreneur podcasts. But I love it because one thing about teaching and education is that everyone knows a teacher or 30. So if you're in this world of education and you're creating content for teachers, like don't rule out to Ray's point, going on other platforms, looking for other places to find other communities and other audiences that might see the value. Like going on, you can go on to things that maybe don't seem like they make sense, because those people love, like they love their teacher friends, and they love bringing that in. They also love getting teacher and educator perspectives on other things in the world because it's a really cool take. So like there's a lot of opportunities because there's a lot of podcasts out there. Podcast is
Mhm.
a great way to do it because every podcast that does guest, like they need guest. So like yeah, there's a lot out there for you. So good,
I would
very good
encourage all of you,
suggestion.
if you're looking for your first podcast to be a guest on, reach out to the team. We not only have two shows that feature guests that can bring you onto a panel or something that is a good fit for you, but we also obviously have our Teach Better podcast network. So we're more than happy to pitch you to our podcast network and say, hey, we have somebody who feels as though they have a great story to tell. Does anybody have any openings in their episode lineup? So again, it's not like a foolproof system, but a way to get you started and kind of dipping your toe in the water of that kind of work.
Mhm.
So good ideas, Jeff. Thanks for sharing those. I like that listener question.
Love it. Good question.
Any additional call to actions for our community here?
If you're in that realm and you're creating things or considering that or side hustling or anything like that, we do have our educator community, which our educator club plus community, which I think could be really valuable. That is a community on a platform called Circle that is a private space for conversations around all things creating. So whether you're blogging, podcasting, creating curriculum, trying to do consultant work, trying to speak, writing a book, creating videos, building courses, whatever it might be, that's a community of other creators that are educators that are creating things, educators. So if you go over to teachbetter.com/ edu creator, so edu creator. You can find out more info there, but it's a great community. Some really just super intelligent, awesome people doing some really great stuff in there. So could be a great support system for you.
So fun. We hope you have a wonderful day, friends. We'll see you on the next show of Teach Better Today. Have an awesome day, guys. See ya. Hey, Teach Better community. Thank you so much for joining the Teach Better Today morning show every single weekday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have so many resources for you outside of this live stream at teachbetter.com, including blogs, podcasts, and professional development that will bring our team to your school. Wherever you are listening from this morning, please make sure you are sharing and celebrating the incredible educators in this world. And hey, if you are listening over on a podcast to Teach Better Talk, we would love a 5-star review. The comments are always so entertaining. We'll see you tomorrow.